Hi there, I'm Lucy McDonald, physiotherapist. Welcome back to my virtual clinic. Today I'm going to be talking to you about pain in the sole of your foot, and particularly in healthcare workers. It's often called plantar fasciitis, but more accurately called plantar fasciopathy. But before I do, I'd like to say thank you so much for your lovely messages of support. I really appreciate them. Please do press the subscribe key and share with as many people as you can so that everyone can benefit from this advice. So you have pain in the sole of your foot. What could be causing it? So there are other things other than the plantar fascia that could be causing your pain in the sole of your foot. So it's super important that you do see a physiotherapist or a doctor who can give you a proper diagnosis. Things like stress fractures are the types of pains that you must not miss. So please do go and get them checked out before you follow the advice on this video. But the plantar fascia runs from the heel, so the calcaneal bone here, all the way down the sole of the foot. So you can see this is a model of the foot, and we flip it over. This is the calcaneus. It starts here and it runs through the whole of the sole of your foot. Now, you can feel it anywhere, but the most common place is around the middle and back of the heel. So that's where you're feeling your pain. What's the first thing that you need to do? It's probably the most obvious, which is to sort out your shoes. Now, with a pair of shoes, what you need to make sure is that it's nice and flexible at the big toe joint, that it's got a little bit of a heel. You can see here in my grotty old favourite trainer that there's a little bit of a heel, and then there's a little bit of support in this part of the shoe. There's also laces or some kind of strapping over the front of the foot so that the heel bone stays nice and firmly in the shoe. And if you can get all those components in the shoe, you're getting it right. And the best and easiest way to do that is just to wear a decent running shoe. That will really support your feet when you're on your feet all day at work. Right, the next thing is, what can you do in terms of exercise? Now, loads of people make the mistake of stretching the calf muscle, and that could actually make things worse by making your ankle a bit more unstable, which is the last thing that you want to do. So what should you be doing about it? Well, actually you should be loading the plantar fascia, because we know that the plantar fascia behaves a bit like a tendon. Tendons don't like being stretched, they like being loaded. So what you need to do is an exercise that involves flexing your big toe and then dropping your heels off a step. But as I say, you do need to make sure you get a proper diagnosis first. Now, I'm going to give you the link to that video for that exercise in the bottom of in the comment section of this video, so please do check it out. That's my first exercise I would recommend. The second one involves improving your balance, or more accurately your proprioception, which is your body's positional sense. So doing things like standing on one leg with your eyes closed when you're cleaning your teeth morning and night can really help to improve that proprioception, and that's really important. Just make sure when you're doing those exercises that you are hovering your hands over something solid, so that if you do feel wobbly, you can hold on and you don't fall over. So that's my second one. My third, but by no means least, is more about the strength of your calf muscles. And included in that, not just the shortening of your calf muscles, but the lengthening of your calf muscles too, and making sure that you're doing that exercise with the correct alignment. I believe that the number of the exercise that I'm describing is exercise number 42 on the Octopus Clinic website. But as I say, I will put those 3 exercises down at the bottom of this video. Now, a bit of a bonus bit of advice is that if you have plantar fasciopathy, then it's worth generally training your legs as well. So things like training your glutes muscles, your quads muscles by things like squats or split squats or other lower body exercises, and your core muscles too, because general conditioning will help to reduce the amount of strain going through that specific bit of your body. Okie doke. So a few things before I finish up. I want to just advise you not to do tons and tons of stretching, as I've mentioned, but also not to bother with things like icing it or rolling it, unless it's really swollen and warm, in which case ice can be helpful. So what can you do to sort of relieve the short-term pain? You can use some taping, and there are some techniques that you can use to tape your own feet, or obviously go and see a physio who can do a professional job. Now, last but not least, one of the really important things about a plantar fasciopathy is your general health. Now, I know that if you're a healthcare professional, you're probably very short of time, and the amount of time that you can spend on looking after your own health is minimal, but it is so important. So things like making sure you're eating healthily, loads of veg, loads of healthy food, minimizing sugar, not smoking, minimal alcohol, all those things that you know about that will help you to recover from this injury. Likewise, stress and sleep will have a huge impact. So making sure that you're managing your stress, going to see your GP if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed or you're concerned that your mental health isn't great, and talking to friends about those things. And then sleep. So a few tips on sleep. If you can try and get into a regular sleep routine and not use any kind of screen, that means your phone, your TV, your computer, whatever, nothing for 2 hours before you go to sleep, then that will help. And obviously try not to have caffeine too late in the day, and do try and avoid alcohol, because we know that even one glass of wine can have a negative effect on sleep, and sleep is when so much of healing, recovery and repair occurs. So I hope that's been helpful. Please do press the subscribe key. Please share this with as many people as you can, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And don't forget, please do let me know what you would like me to do a video on next. Bye.